Well, good afternoon, everyone. Let us prepare our hearts and our minds just to invoke the presence of our God in this space. If I can get you to bow your heads for just a moment. Gracious God, our Father, our Creator, we come today with thanksgiving in our hearts. We come with praise on our lips. Thanking you for being such an incredible God, for we're able to see your incredible, mighty acts here today. We come before you today with grateful hearts as we dedicate this space to you, this Aspire Center of Austin. We thank you for the vision and the passion that has brought this center into existence. We thank you for Westside Health Authority, Morris Reed and his team, Austin Coming Together, Darnell Shields and his team, the elected officials, and all who contributed to bringing this vision to pass. We thank you for those Austin residents who put up the first part of the money to purchase this building. We thank you for them. We thank you for Mayor Lori Lightfoot and the City of Chicago for her vision and courage to invest in the plan to uplift this community. Let this building be a testimony of her commitment and that her legacy will forever be etched in the hearts of those who will benefit from this place. We ask for your blessings upon this community center and all those who will enter its doors. May it be a place of refuge and hope for the Austin community of Chicago, providing support, education, and resources to all who need them. May it be a place of healing for the sick, a place for comfort for the grieving, and a place of joy for those who have lost hope. We pray that this space, this former school, would be a beacon of light in a community that needs light. We pray that those who live and work in this community will utilize this space as a place where dreams can be realized, that they will use it as a pathway to overcome the challenges that they face daily growing up in this community. We thank you that as a result of this project, lives will be transformed and saved for your glory. Troubled youth will be redirected. Single mothers will find resources that would otherwise be unavailable. Misguided teens will find their way out of trouble. We trust and believe that this space will contribute to the production of some of the finest and most productive and progressive people that this community has ever produced. We believe you, God, for the best business owners, doctors, lawyers, accountants, elected officials, community activists, educators, aldermen, senators, congressmen, pastors, CEOs, mayors, governors, and even presidents will come out of this community. We pray that this center will be a symbol of the unity and collaboration that can exist within our community when we work together for a common cause. May it serve as a reminder that no one is alone and that there's always help available for those who seek it. We ask that you guide and protect those who will lead and work in this building, that they may always be mindful of your presence and your will. May they serve with love, compassion, and kindness, and may their efforts bear much fruit. In all things we give you thanks and praise, and we ask you to continue to bless the Aspire Center and all those who will benefit from it. We ask these blessings in the name of him who gave his life as a ransom for mine. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And now I believe next on our list is our Alderman Chris Telefaro. Here, there he is.
All right, Alderman Chris, let's give him a hand.
If you guys know the Ms. Morris didn't know whether to fist bump or to shake hands, that's because we didn't rehearse this.
There you go.
I have a very easy task before you this morning, this afternoon. The first is to welcome you. And so it's a distinct honor to be able to welcome you to the 29th Ward and to welcome you to this great event, the groundbreaking of the Aspire Initiative. Thank you all for coming out. Let's give everyone a round of applause. I want to recognize Congressman Danny K. Davis for joining us today. My good friend, seatmate, and my twin, Jason Irvin. Jason and I are often misidentified. They say I'm Jason and they say he's me. But Jason's checkbook is always bigger than mine, so that's why I tell folks, I said, just look at our checkbooks and our wallets, you'll see Jason's is fatter. But there's so many people that think for this great day. Darnell Shields. Mr. Maurice Cox. Mr. Morris Reed. And so many more. But I think we'll all get an opportunity to say thank you to each and every one of you that have played a vital role in why we're here today. Morris can tell you that the opening of this project, or the groundbreaking and ribbon cutting of this project, was not an easy one, and it was not an easy task to get here. I think we started on this in 2015, where we were, as I was telling Maurice coming in, I had a vision for something else, but the ward had a vision for something, and Maurice helped me to see the ward's vision to bring this event, or to bring this event before you today, and this initiative. The other task I have is to introduce someone I'd like to say is a good friend of mine. And so it's an easy task to introduce her. When Mayor Lightfoot was elected, I have to tell you that she put the amount of confidence and trust in me as a leader in the Austin community and a leader in the city council to lead one of her most prestigious committees, and that's the Committee on Public Safety. And to have that much confidence put into a new alderman, in my opinion, was unprecedented. It was certainly unprecedented with me, to someone to put that much faith outside of my wife, to put that much faith in me. And so I want to thank you, Mayor Light, for the opportunity to serve you in the City Council, to serve your Committee on Public Safety, and to serve the Austin community. What you have done on the west side of Chicago and in this ward, in my opinion, is unprecedented. You've began what I call a rebirth of Austin. For years, I think many of us can collectively say that there had not been much investment in the people of Austin. There had not been much investment in the community of Austin. And when you walk through the door and created your legacy, Invest Southwest, we started seeing people have hope. We started seeing people dreaming. And we started seeing lives become more enriched because of your development ideas. And you brought in Mr. Maurice Cox. Many of us were not used to someone saying, this is what we're gonna do. We were so used to saying, this is what I'd like to see. But you brought in a man that shared your vision for the west side and south side. And I certainly appreciate it. Although I have not told Maurice, I appreciate you a lot, Mr. Cox. We meet, and I can say this publicly, we meet once a month, and this is an initiative Maurice started with his team. And every Tuesday is that Tuesday that I meet with his team is my time to tell Maurice jokes. I don't know whether it makes it to him, but I have Mr. Cox jokes before we start our meeting. But I say that out of love, because he shared the mayor's vision for the west side of Chicago. And although he may not, I'll just say Morris has his way about getting things done. But the important thing is they get done. So I want to introduce my good friend, Mayor Lori E. Lightfoot.
Yeah!
She has been a true visionary for the city of Chicago. She's been a true visionary for the west side of Chicago. And she's been a true visionary for the 29th Ward. This is not, please stand up.
Everybody.
And I will say this as I take my seat. One of the last things that I've said, and I know the cameras are on us, and I'm not saying this because the cameras are on us. I did not have a good relationship with our previous administration. In fact, one of the last things I told the city mayor was, I believe that he loved money. I believe that he loved the city of Chicago with all of his heart. But I didn't think he loved the people. Mayor Lightfoot loves the people of Chicago. She's invested her time, her effort, and her energy, not in buildings, not in organizations. She's invested her time in people. Right. And that's what makes a city grow.
Yes.
That's what makes families grow.
Yes.
When you invest your time in people, you're gonna get a great result every time. And you'll be able to stand on that legacy, Mayor Lightfoot. I thank you so much for serving this great city. I introduce Mayor Lori E. Lightfoot.
All right.
I'm going to tell you how much a friend she is, and then I'm going to leave. A lot of folks know that I've gone deaf. I do tell people because sometimes I think it's important that they know when they ask me for something, they got to ask me on this side, because if they say it on this side of me, I might say yes. But when I was going through that difficult time, when I was losing my hearing, I talked to Mayor Lightfoot about it, and I was like, you know, I talked to her about do I start wearing a hearing aid or whatever the case may be, but I felt so comfortable with her that I can confide in her about one of the most important things going on in my life at the time. And she recommended that I try the hearing aid, and she didn't tell me which ones to get, but I paid a lot of money for a hearing aid. And then 2 months later, I lost my hearing completely on the right side. And so I'm still paying the beer, Mayor, for your Lightfoot, for her advice. But it was great to be able to confide in her about even the personal things that I experienced. So thank you so much, Mayor, for your service and your friendship. Thank you.
So West Side, here we go again. And let me thank my friend, Chris Taliaferro. Gentleman, strong, quiet leader, and someone who I know is going to be in my life for the rest of my life. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you, Congressman Davis, as always, for being a true champion, not only of the West Side, but of people who are in need everywhere. Thank you, sir, for your incredible service and advocacy. Thank you for Jason Irvin. Jason Irvin, I'm going to be spending a lot of time in your ward on the other side of May 15th, so get ready for it, man. Today's groundbreaking is not the last big announcement that we're celebrating in my term, but it is the last Invest SouthWest groundbreaking, which makes it important. To mark the occasion, we come back to the community really where it all began, and that's here in Austin. Some of you know, because you were there 4 years ago, that we gathered not far from here at LMA Creations to launch Invest SouthWest with an idea for neighborhood revitalization and initial commitment that I hoped at that time in the fall of 2019 that we would get to, which was 750 million city dollars. We had aspirations of trying to attract other corporate investment, philanthropic investment, but I knew that it was important for us to put our money where our mouth was and to lead by example. Never dreaming that this would grow into a multi-billion-dollar venture. But so it has. And to help us celebrate our last Invest SouthWest groundbreaking, we of course had to bring back some of the folks that were the OGs, the people that were there at the beginning. So 4 years ago, BMO Harris was there. I think it's one of the first times that I remember meeting Dave Casper. And at that point, BMO put down $10 million given to the United Way to help us launch this incredibly important economic development mission. So I want to say thank you to all the BMO folks, I want to welcome the new president, Daryl Hackett, for representing BMO today, and for BMO's contributions to this city that have been absolutely phenomenal. Every time that we've needed a partner, you all have stepped up. We are so grateful for everything that BMO has done across the city, and we look forward to continued partnership and investment by BMO. So thank you all so much for that. And I mentioned the United Way of Metro Chicago, and Sean Garrett is here, an important philanthropic partner in our Invest Southwest mission, but also in many other city initiatives like our recent launch of the 211 Center. Thank you, Sean. Thank you to all the folks in United Way for your continuing commitment to our neighborhoods. I also want to give one final round of thanks to the city leaders who have made all of this possible. First and foremost, Samir Mayakar. I think he thinks I'm his mother now because I praise him all the time. I am old enough to be his mother, but I will say this again. You can have a vision as a leader, but if you don't have people who can actually execute, who sweat the details on a day-to-day basis, that vision is going to be for naught. It's going to be frustrated. It's going to be half-baked. Nothing about what we have done in economic development and breathing life into areas of our city that haven't seen investment in decades has been anything short of magnificent. And first and foremost, responsible for that is Samir Mayakar. So thank you, Samir. Another important person and team in bringing the vision to life is Maurice Cox, our gifted, talented, energetic, and visionary commissioner of the Department of Planning. Maurice and his team have done unbelievable work throughout the city. Certainly my hope that they and he will continue to do that work for years to come. But thank you, Commissioner Cox. And if I'm honest, I will say that the idea of Invest Southwest really came from being here on the West Side when I was campaigning. I didn't know a lot about the West Side in those days, but I came to understand a lot about these neighborhoods, about these streets, and importantly, was mystified that the West Side was left without so many vital resources that people in neighborhoods like mine in Logan Square and other parts of the city simply take for granted. We take for granted that we can walk to a grocery store, not a corner store that sells liquor and expired fruits and vegetables. We take for granted that we can go to a pharmacy, that we can have branch banking, that we can go to sit-down restaurants, nice restaurants, not takeout behind bulletproof glass. The branch banking is also important as well because it really shows what's the commitment there. Are people actually able to form a relationship with their bank and build wealth? Or are they going to the currency exchange and frankly getting half of their pay taken every single time? They just simply want to cash a check. And my eyes were opened up by what I saw on these streets of the West Side, and that's why I've been so committed. And you've heard me say this before, as the West Side goes the rest of our city. So it's important that we are here and present in making these investments. And really that was the impetus for the creation of Invest Southwest. And so over the last 4 years, guided by Invest Southwest collaborative investment strategy, we have committed $2.2 billion across 10 neighborhoods, 12 commercial corridors on the South and the West Side, and the West Side in particular has been an important beneficiary. These investments have been funding and supporting the development of city-issued RFP projects, ongoing community-led projects like the Pop Court just to the west of here, and infrastructure improvements in parks, schools, streets, public transportation, and so much more. And in turn, these investments are spurring economic development and activity, creating jobs and opportunities, and I hope catalyzing future investments. One of the most remarkable things about this initiative is when celebrating Invest Southwest ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings, we would often say things like, for the first time in decades, or after years and years of sitting vacant. And if you need proof of Invest Southwest success, look no further than the vacant lots and abandoned spaces that have been transformed by the community, for the community in neighborhoods across the west side and the south side. This initiative hasn't simply been about writing checks and laying bricks. We were intentional about the projects that we funded. We sought out projects that reclaimed and renovated underutilized spaces that had unlimited potential for reuse. We supported projects that were led by the community, and specifically by community-based developers and leaders with deep ties to those communities and a history of uplifting the community and putting the residents first. That was very intentional. We selected projects that specifically tailored to the needs of a community. Did the community need branch banks and grocery stores? Do they need more housing options and health clinics? And with this intentionality, we can ensure that the foundations that we laid and the dollars that we committed would benefit our communities for years to come, because you deserve no less. The fruits of this labor will manifest in the form of clean and safe streets, bustling and thriving commercial corridors, and neighborhoods that are abundant with socioeconomic opportunities and basic amenities. Today's groundbreaking, ladies and gentlemen, is yet another seed that we are planting so that you all can reap the harvest for years to come. The $41 million Aspire Center is a joint effort by many community leaders and advocates, including Austin Coming Together, the Jane Addams Resource Corps, Westside Health Authority, State Representative LaShawn Ford, and the partners that we've already mentioned, demonstrating how the whole of community is behind this project, another pillar of our Invest Southwest philosophy. The city was proud to support this project with $12.5 million in TIF funding. You heard it, but it bears repeating because it's so sweet. The Aspire Center will be a multi-use facility that includes an advanced manufacturing training center, small business incubator, community hub, and an event space. Specific on-site services are planned to include job readiness, vocational training, financial coaching, and employment services. These services and amenities will provide an opportunity for Austinites to invest in themselves, to enter Chicago's thriving manufacturing industry, or even start a business of your own, contributing to the economic vitality of this neighborhood in our city, this incredible neighborhood. And yes, I said that. Austin is an incredible neighborhood. This incredible neighborhood deserves an asset like this, which is anticipated to create 50 permanent jobs and train more than 2,000 workers over the next 5 years. Answering communities, yes. Spurring the economy, yes. Creating jobs, yes. That is what Invest Southwest is all about. And furthermore, the Aspire Center is repurposing Robert Emmett Elementary School, a 69,000 square foot building that has been closed since 2013, reclaiming an incredibly important community asset and turning it into something that benefits the community. It doesn't get better than that. And residents aren't going to have to wait too long to tap into the future. Construction is underway, and we expect it will reach completion by next year. In addition to breaking ground on the Aspire Center today, we are also celebrating Illinois Tool Works' entrance into the Austin community. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, ITW is a Fortune 500 company purposely choosing to invest in Austin and be a part of our Invest Southwest community. ITW will be establishing a manufacturing facility here in the neighborhood, set to open next year.
Yeah.
Beyond the physical facility, they will also partner with Austin-based workforce development organization to, guess what, hire local residents to lead their operations. Thank you. Jobs and a commitment to partner with the community. Thank you, ITW, and you'll hear from one of its leaders in a moment. Government alone can't revitalize neighborhoods that have suffered from decades of disinvestment. We have to lead the way, we have to show the vision, and turn the seemingly impossible into possibilities, but we need partners in the private sector to do their part as well. And we've seen that happen across the city. Discover Financial, Northwestern Medicine, Blue Cross Blue Shield, just to name a few, who have heard the clarion call of the need to invest in our neighborhoods on the south and the west side. And now ITW joins this list of major corporate anchors doing their part, hand in hand with community leaders, to bring economic activity and good paying jobs to this incredible neighborhood. And we need to make sure that others follow. Thank you to ITW CEO Scott Scanty, who is leading by example with today's announcement, as well as the Civic Committee of Chicago and its fearless leaders, and particularly Committee Chair Jenny Scanlon and President Derek Douglas. Thank you for sharing in our vision of how we transform Chicago to be fairer and more equitable and inclusive for all. Thank you to everyone here who contributed to the realization of Aspire Center. And I know there is a long list. And thank you for your commitment to Chicago. Before I go, on this occasion, I also want to thank the South and the West Side residents and the residents from all over who believed in this crazy notion that your communities deserve investment. Who believed that when we came to you with a humble heart and a listening ear, and sometimes we took a beating, but we stayed, and we stayed, and we stayed, because that was what was needed in this moment. That moment's not over. So no matter who is on the 5th floor, and my time, as you know, is winding down, have the expectation, the advocacy, and the commitment in your heart to continue demanding more from the 5th floor, from city government, from our corporate leadership. Because if our neighborhoods are starving, we are not a great global city. That's impossible for that to happen. If kids in neighborhoods like Austin, and East and West Garfield, or Roseland on the south side where I'll be later tonight, don't see themselves in the present and future of our city, we are in trouble. Absolutely. I look out at this audience and I see people who have given their heart and soul to the betterment of community, to reaching our young people and their families and help supporting them in every way possible. That work can't be in vain, and it cannot stop on May 15th. It must continue forward in a robust way, because the future, we have changed the dynamic and the relationship between the government and the governed, and that can't be undone by any election. It must continue. But it won't, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't use your voices to demand accountability to everyone and hold yourselves accountable. Because we have done a lot in 4 years' time, but we didn't solve every problem. We didn't cure every ill. We didn't undo systemic racism, the other barriers that have held our residents back for far too long. That work must continue. So I think Alderman Irvin thought I was making a threat to him when I said that I was going to be present in his neighborhood. But here's my commitment to you. I'm not going away. The work must continue. Of course, I'll be sitting in a different seat, but the work must continue. And my commitment to the West Side is never going to waver. I'm never going to disappear. There's more work that we must do together, and you will see me on these streets on these blocks, in these neighborhoods, doing what's necessary to help all of our kids, all of God's children succeed. So thank you for 4 incredible years. You've given me the privilege of a lifetime, and I'm happy to be ending our last Invest Southwest groundbreaking here where it all began. Thank you.
Man, if I had a mic, I'd just drop it. You know, oh, Mayor Lightfoot, thank you so much. Good afternoon, Austin. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I want to start with Alderman Tyler Farrell. I'm not going to go on as long as he did about our relationship, but I have to say that he was one who said, you know, you're new to Chicago. You need to learn the Chicago ways. I know you've got a lot of ideas, but you need to listen. You need to listen. And that was the best advice you ever gave me. And as a result, we're here today breaking ground on one of your dreams, on one of this community's dreams, and also one of my dreams. So just thank you for your leadership. I have journeyed along with our Deputy Mayor, Samir Mayakar, who ultimately was the one who convinced me to take this job. And I have to say, I've just grown to really appreciate having a partner like that who can work harder than I work, which is amazing. I think he's the hardest working deputy mayor that Chicago has ever seen, to be honest with you. So thank you, Samir. You know, Mayor Lightfoot, just thank you for giving me the opportunity of a lifetime. Some of you were in the room yesterday where we were at the Cultural Center, and we awarded 133 grants that represent $250 million of redevelopment. And there were people who look like us in the room who will be building these communities. So that was another one of Mayor Lightfoot's parting gifts. Thank you for believing in us as community builders and taking on audacious projects like the Aspire Center. It's amazing to be here to write another chapter to this school when everyone thought that the final chapter had been written 10 years ago when this building closed. And here we are, writing a new chapter, an amazing chapter of this building. I just think that it speaks to, you know, buildings like this. Schools, buildings of this vintage were built for a lifetime. They are incredibly resilient. But I like to think, yes, buildings are resilient, but you know who's more resilient? People are resilient. And the folks of Austin are resilient. This neighborhood is resilient. And now we are seeing the results of it when we have a building like this that is ready to bounce back and be another major contributor to how Austin grows. So, you know, this is one of those sleeping beauties. I talk about buildings that have been shuttered, they've been mothballed, they've never lost their beauty, they're just asleep until the right visionaries come along. And so the Emmett Elementary School is extraordinarily lucky to have dreamers like Morris Reed. To have dreamers, yes you are. To have dreamers like Darnell who can then go out and find other dreamers like the Jane Addams Resource Corporation to pull these off. This is what it takes. And I will say that, you know, when I first started this job as planning commissioner, I was introduced first to Austin. And I remember sitting in Darnell's office and he talked about the vision for this school. I remember sitting in the office of Malcolm Crawford, and he talked about the vision for Laramie Bank. That was my first month on the job. And so to know that after we tried to understand where could we start Invest Southwest that would really resonate, it was pretty obvious that it was going to be Austin. It was going to be Austin, and we were going to get as far west from downtown as possible and show that we can produce a transformation of a west side neighborhood without any proximity to downtown. And so it is very fitting that our last groundbreaking is right here in Austin. But to Alderman Taliaferro's first point about listening to the community, we also, some of you were at that meeting where we had the big in-person strategy session about where should we start? Where should we start? We put it to residents as to where we should start. And what's interesting is that Emmett Elementary was hugely popular. It was hugely popular when we asked residents. It was second only to Laramie Bank.
Yeah.
So Laramie Bank was the one people said, this is where you start. So we listened and we broke ground just months ago on the Laramie Bank site. But to think, just months later, the second most important valued asset that residents pointed to, Emmett School, is now we're breaking ground. And those two investments constitute $90 million of investment. So this is an amazing journey. I mean, and please know that this is more than bricks and mortar for us. It's more than financing. It's about the lives that will be changed who will walk into the door of this building. People who dare dream, like Darnell and Morris and so many others, they're going to see their lives transformed. And you'll hear a little bit more about how us laying this foundation has brought others to the table that we hadn't even imagined 4 years ago. I think there are another group of dreamers here that I should recognize, and that would be the Lamar Johnson Collaborative, the architects. We've been to a lot of groundbreakings, but this is the first groundbreaking where the architects stayed up all night and made a model of the building that will come. So they're committed. So I just want to thank them. They've been amazing partners in this journey. They are also the authors of the Pop Fit plaza that is just outside. And this idea of doing something now to show people what is possible, they've just been a partner with this. I think they've done 3 or 4 of this with us, and it means a lot. If you have to wait years for this dream, it means a lot to have a stepping stone to show people what's possible and to give them a sense that activity is happening. This is just a little sample of what is to come. So thank you, Lamar Johnson, for your brilliance and for your commitment to Austin and to the Invest Southwest program. So this building is going to be reborn as a job training center, a place that will be a proof of concept that we feel will resonate throughout Chicago, throughout the West Side. And that notion that if we could just lead folks a little, others that we don't know will emerge and follow. And I, again, am just taken aback by not just this amazing transformation, but of the hundreds of jobs. And that means hundreds of families whose lives will be changed because of this work. So I just want to thank everyone for believing in the dream, keeping the dream safe until the resources could come together, that we could celebrate this moment together. And I want to introduce one of those dream keepers who we've done a lot of work together since those first days. Morris Reed of the Westside Health Authority. One of Austin's heroes.
Well, thank you all. Look at Austin. We're doing this, right? My heart is beating. The Inspire Center, I want to thank our mayor. You know, she's a fighter. She fought for her Invest SouthWest initiative. They brought, yesterday she said billions of dollars where neighborhoods wouldn't get invested into, but because of her, investments and assets are being developed. I haven't ever seen this type of excitement and energy until this mayor. So y'all give Mayor Lori Lightfoot a hand, please. I honor you and thank you. And thank you, Samir, and thank you, Commissioner Cox. You know, we work together a lot. But this Aspire Center is something that's like very passionate and very true to our heart. My partners, Darnell and Austin, coming together. We've been thinking about this a whole lot. You know, this is a very visible location. This is the center of Austin. Basically, what we do here will inspire others. It's a very aspirational project, as Commissioner Cox has said, that we will develop young people. We will bring together others. But I can't do this without my team. So I want to introduce Kiwana Bell. She's been our project lead. Kiwana Bell. I also want to bring up our good neighbors. Good neighbors, come to the stage, please. Because this is a community-based project. A building is just a building unless you have people supporting it. So all the good neighbors, come to the stage. And I want to bring my mother, Jacqueline Reed, who is our founder of our organization, who says that people, it's only because of people. You can't do anything without people and building their capacity. So I want to bring you out to the stage. This is our community, y'all. Give them all a round of applause, please. So I'm gonna let Kiwana Bell speak. Because it ain't me, it's her.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. I get my days mixed up. Darnell and I have been working hard alongside of all of our consultants and partners in this project. I'd like to just recognize PMA, Project Management, Dan Claff with CIC Community Capital, IFF, who helped us with pre-development, Lamar Johnson, our architects. We're on phone calls all day, every day. And we're trying to really get this project going. They told me I had to be suited and booted, but I should have had my orange on, and I normally would. But I just like to say that, you know, for the past 35 years, WHA, Westside Health Authority, has worked in the Austin community, trying to give power to community voice, listening to what ordinary people say that they want to see in their community, and then we stand beside and believe with them. You know, very little has been done in this community without being seeded first by community capital. And I just want to tell you that our residents came up with the first $20,000 on this project.
Yeah.
And that $20,000 didn't come from rich people. It came from $50 and $100 and $500 and $1,000 coming out of sock drawers and things like that. People believing in this project and saying, I want to have a stake in what goes in our community. So I'm just so thankful that we have been able to be a conduit that we can all work together to get this project done. And I do want to let our good neighbors know and all of our other community people that, you know, your work is not done. Sorry. This building opens in 2024, and we have a goal of, now my goal as the development director is 1,000 placements per year. We want to get our young people trained and placed in advanced skills manufacturing, and tech, and finance and banking. These are opportunities. These are opportunities that our young people deserve, and we believed and we stood together and we raised that money, and then the philanthropic community came together and the public community came together, and look at God. Yeah. And I'm gonna just say, you know, we have been working with ACT on this thing since the very, very beginning. Since the very beginning, Darnell and I would just sit and we would just dream about what we could have and what, you know, even to this day, we're on calls all day. We're not building a rinky-dinky center, you guys. This is $41 million of state-of-the-art. The best of the best is gonna be in this facility for our young people. And so, you know, we wouldn't have been able to do it without ACT, their vision and leadership and connections and relationships. And I'm just so thankful to have him as a partner and to have all of our partners here with us today. We really are just excited, and I'm just letting you know this is a faith story and we ain't done yet. So,
yeah. All right. It's my honor to introduce Mr. Darnell Shields, Executive Director of Austin Come Together.
Oh man, I'm trying to hold it together over here, y'all. Whew. Oh my God. Oh man, you guys really touch me with all your speeches and the words and everything that you're saying about how incredible we are. And it's funny because I already know it, but to hear it, you know, it's nothing like hearing it, somebody reinforcing it. You know, Commissioner Cox, you said that this school was closed in 2013, and this month actually marks the anniversary, the 10th anniversary. It was closed in May 2013, May 3rd, 2023, y'all. That tragedy struck our community. It struck communities across the city, not just in Austin. This was felt, it was a ripple. And it's interesting because as valuable as education is these days, right? I still can't imagine closing a school. Right. Even when I try to wrap my mind around it, I just can't imagine closing a school. As priceless as education is, as powerful as it is for us as individuals. Unless the people who need that school are perceived as less than valuable, unimportant, or worthless. But you know what's worse? That's bad, right? You know what's worse? What's worse is to be, for 10 years, to be reminded that we shouldn't even have the essentials, let alone aspire for more, right? Being broke is one thing, but to be broken is another thing entirely. The longer a person stays in that state, the more permanent that despair becomes. This is how I know that my fellow Austinites are truly resilient. You said it. We're resilient because we're still here fighting to survive, fighting for justice. People like Jacqueline Reed. Yeah, I'm about to name drop. Gus and Charmaine Rickett. Saucy Chicken over there holding down Madison. Come on. Larry Williams. Well, yeah, State Farm. Our advocates serving on every board of every community organization. Malcolm Crawford. I know we on Madison, but we got Soul City on Chicago Avenue. This is all of Austin. And people like Ruth Kimball. She's the reason that I'm standing here today. To endure, I'll just name a few people, there's so many others that I could name, but to endure decades of disinvestment and injustice against them is a testament to our faith that we shall yet overcome. This is why I believe today starts another turning point towards our victory in setting things right. We are more than just resilient. We are united. That's right. And send a message. Like when our community came together as one to create this first quality of life plan, Austin Forward Together. I'm sure everybody's heard about it. I made sure of it. If you didn't know about it, I was in your office letting you know. Hey, I had orders, this was my charge. And I'm going to make sure everybody knew that this was our plan and that we were united and that this is what we were going to support. But the fact is, that is why we are standing here today, because our plan is working. It is driven by our unity and our love for each other, making the impossible possible. And I know it sounded impossible, but I believe this is a faith story, you guys. This is a faith story. So I just stand here today to say thank you. I say thank you to so many people. You guys have to understand how many folks, the community stood up, came together, spent night after night planning. Yeah, we in planning meetings, building this site, but I have to tell you, community members were in planning meetings night after night for years to help us get to this point. And I want to thank them because they showed me what real commitment looks like. They showed me that I needed to not give up, keep pressing forward. Even when somebody says no, I don't hear no, I just hear convince me. So just know that. But I really thank them for keeping that vision and motivating and pushing all of us to do our best, to bring our best. And I really appreciate all of our partners, the City of Chicago, Mayor Lightfoot, Commissioner Maurice Cox, 29th Ward Alderman Taya Farrow, Deputy Mayor Samir Mayakar. You guys carried the torch. You stood with us. You didn't tell us no. You said not yet, but you didn't tell us no. And we value that and we appreciate it. And we know that you have been our partners in this. Thank you so much for your leadership. We thank all of our government partners. He's not here, but State Representative LaShawn K. Ford. Yeah, I have to do this because he stood with us throughout this. Even before the Capitol bill came through, he was standing with us. And he's from this community. And so we got to give it up for him. All of our philanthropic partners, they came to the table as well. Chicago Community Trust, we rise together. They right, we do rise together. Lamar Johnson, IFF, other partners that have been at the table since day one. Pritzker Childhood Foundation stood with us, inspired us to really push this, right? And here we are. Blue Cross Blue Shield, the Waddell Family Foundation, Joyce Foundation, our friends at BMO Harris Bank, for your generosity. Thank you for your generosity, but also thank you for doing business with us. They're a tenant in this building, you all. That's significant. Chase, JP Morgan Chase, the Chicago Community Loan Fund, Chicago Development Fund, Senior, Enterprise. I have to thank everybody. Dan Clef, my man Dan. Applegate and Thorne, our contractor, Sergeant Blinderman, PMA, the Jane Addams Resource Corporation, Krista Company, List Chicago, Teska and Associates, purpose-built communities, and our friends over at By the Hand Club. Come on now. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank Austin Coming Together Board of Directors. Some of them are here. I'm trying to tell you who keeps me going. And my team, my amazing team. Austin Coming Together, all Austin Coming Together staff, please stand up. Please stand up. Y'all gotta understand, they have to endure me walking through the office, ranting and raving all day, every day. Cause I'm about to shake the building, cause I'm like, we gotta get this. But this is what it takes. Somebody once said, it takes a village. Yeah. Did I not just read off a village? Yeah. That's what it takes to be able to transform, to make it right, and rebuild your community. So this is what moving forward together looks and feels like. I just wanted to make sure y'all take that with you, because next year this center will be open and we're gonna have a whole nother reason to celebrate. Thank you. And now I get to introduce, I didn't forget you, Sean. I get to introduce my really good friend and one of the organizations that has really stood by us throughout everything since we've been on this fight for collective impact to help us unify. United Way of Metro Chicago. Yeah. They've not only been an advocate, but they've been a real good friend to everything Austin and all that we've been doing. I give you Sean Garrett, CEO.
All right, I kind of want this party to keep going because it's kind of fun here, but my job is to get you to the next couple speakers. So here's the thing I wanted to share. Everything we've talked about today is about people. We're here for a building, but people are what inspired that plan, created that plan. That plan is what has meant buildings are going up all around this community. Over the last couple of years, we've had groundbreaking and ribbon cuttings all throughout Austin. We've been really proud to be part of them. I saw Adam here from Build, the work that they have just down the street. I see Donita from the work from By the Hand Club up in North Austin. You know, these things are happening with regularity, not because of institutions, it's because of the people. And that's what inspires us all to be a part of it. And frankly, it's why we are really proud at United Way to have this site be the location inspired by Darnell to be where we're making our largest investment in our history. We're almost 100 years old. And 100 years in this city, but it took people like Darnell to inspire others. And when we say we're investing, it's actually 30,000 people who invest in United Way. It's not us, it's the 30,000 people. You know, you talked about how folks were giving $5 and $25 to help get that original, $20,000. Our average donor gives $2 a week. It is not the wealthiest people in the world saying, hey, here's all my money, go take it. It is everyday people who say, I want to be a part of this community and make it stronger. That's how United Way is able to make investments. And that's why we're so proud to be your partner, because this is an effort that is about people. And that's what we're really all about. And that's why we're so thrilled to be here today. So Darnell and Morris, thank you for letting us be part of this work with you. To our friends at the mayor's office, the mayor, to Samir, to the whole team, thank you for letting us be with you in this effort, because all of us had to play a role, and we're really glad to play our role, which is helping to bring those 30,000 people along with us. I'm also, though, really happy that we're joined by two incredible corporate partners who have both helped us get here, but also help us think about what comes next. Because we've said all along, yes, it's about philanthropy, it's about public sector investment, it's about this building, but ultimately it's about jobs and economic investment and where do we go from here. And we have two of the greatest leaders that I could imagine being with us today. And so it's my honor to first invite Daryl Hackett from BMO. He is the current, I'm going to make sure I get the titles right here, but he's the current president of BMO's, pull off here. I want to get this right here. The current premise of BMO Wealth Management, but more importantly, is the newly appointed U.S. CEO of BMO Financial Group starting June 1. So, Daryl, thank you for being here.
All right. Hello, everybody. All right. So I'm not in that new job yet, Sean, but thank you. This is actually my first community event in what will be my new capacity, so I'm honored to be here with you today. Yeah. And it was 4 years ago that BMO was here alongside Mayor Lightfoot, along with the United Way, Sean, Austin Coming Together, Westside Health Authority, and others to launch Invest SouthWest initiative, which took place right here in Austin. And I wasn't here. It was Dave Casper, who's the current CEO of BMO, and many of you would know Dave, bigger than life personality. And Dave really wanted to be here today. And he really wanted to be here to celebrate with all of you. But he thought it was important that I came here because he knew that this groundbreaking, it wasn't the end, it was the beginning. And it was important that BMO helped to see it through beyond today. So thank you for having us. It was at that event 4 years ago where we announced our $10 million investment to United Way, which was BMO Harris' largest investment ever from a community giving standpoint, because we knew we would help to transform as we participated in Neighborhood Network Initiative. And we know over that course of time, the city's been through a lot, the world's been through a lot. But we also know that through all the obstacles, this community right here in Austin thrived and persevered. And there were three great things that happened that I wanted to cite that were transformative projects. One was the new Build Community Hub. Two was North Austin Community Center. And of course, the project we're here to celebrate here today, the Aspire Center. So congratulations to you. BMO was a proud partner of the new Build Community Hub, where we contributed $1 million to help bridge the gap for that project to proceed. And we're also overjoyed to be here to celebrate the groundbreaking of the new Aspire Center, and I commend Darnell and Morris, I saw Morris over here, on all the hard work that you've done. And I had the pleasure of meeting these gentlemen as well before. And we're really proud to be here today and to play a big role. But we didn't stop with our contribution. We also, through our community lending group, committed $5 million in new market tax credits and additional support of the project. And our commercial banker that led that, Allison Porterbarrel, I'm calling on you. She's right here, just trying to blend in as we do. But thank you for your work. Look, I'm going to wrap this up and just say it's a pleasure to be here. It takes strong community leadership, committed philanthropic support, and trusted corporate community investments to make change a reality. And you're doing that here. Thank you for letting us be a part of it. And I'll wrap by just saying, I couldn't leave here without thanking you, Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Please give it up. You were on fire with your comments today. You got us going. You set the tone, and I think you added 5 minutes to everybody's speech after you for that reason. So with that, I'm just to say thank you for all you've done. And thank you, everybody.
All right, you all ready for the benediction? My name is Kenneth Esco, and I'm with ITW. And again, I want to thank you all for being here today. And I want to say thank you for all of the distinguished speakers from across the public and private sector who have come together with this strong neighborhood network to celebrate the groundbreaking of the Austin Aspire Center here in Austin. As ITW learned more about the strong community leadership of the Austin Neighborhood Network and the quality of life plan that lays out a vision to structurally and sustainably improve the quality of life for residents, we were energized by how we could support that plan. We knew that ITW could address the plan's ideas for leveraging Austin's heritage and industrial real estate assets to attract advanced manufacturing jobs to the neighborhood. Today, in addition to this momentous groundbreaking of the Aspire Center for Workforce Innovation, we're excited to share with you our latest partnership, the Commit to a Neighborhood initiative. Created in close collaboration between ITW, the United Way of Metro Chicago, Austin Coming Together, and a number of community-based organizations, the Commit to a Neighborhood partnership was developed to build on the strong community-led neighborhood network and to further stimulate economic growth here in Austin. Through the Commit to a Neighborhood, ITW will establish a manufacturing facility here in the community. In addition to the physical facility, the Commit to a Neighborhood will also provide for partnerships with some of the Austin-based workforce development organizations represented here today to recruit, train, and provide social services and support to the residents that we intend to hire to staff and lead our operations here. We will establish relationships with small and medium-sized businesses, and as well as entrepreneurs, to develop a robust supply chain for various goods and services, not only for our manufacturing operations here in Austin, but across our entire U.S. network. It'll provide opportunities to leverage the collective power of our roughly 3,000 Chicagoland employees to provide their professional expertise on a voluntary basis to nonprofit organizations and small businesses here in the community to help them to thrive and to grow. And lastly, it gives us an opportunity to share our learning experiences along the way with other local businesses as a source of inspiration for those who may be interested in exploring ways to leverage their core business operations, not only to serve their customers, but to engage their employees, reward their owners, and to improve the community where we live and work. The Commit to a Neighborhood initiative and the expansion of ITW's business operations in the Austin community is not just about ITW, but rather the goal is to highlight the significant overall investment in Austin and to serve as a catalyst and potential model for private sector investment in growth, strength, the resiliency of our community and our region. So with that, we look forward to updating you on our collective progress and learnings over the many years to come. So thank you very much.
Don't worry, I don't have a long speech prepared. Who's ready to break some ground? Come on. So we'll have our speakers come up and grab a shovel and a hard hat.